Hello everyone, I'm Sarah Tracy. I am a sommelier and lifestyle expert based in New York. I am so excited for this new pairing series with Fresh Cravings. We are teaming up to pair dips and sips. I'm going to show you how to make some of my favorite wine pairing appetizers with Fresh Cravings hummus, creamy dips, and salsas, and show you how to pair them with some of my favorite bottles. I love to find high quality products at my local market with great ingredients and then tweak them just a little bit, up level them. It just saves so much time. The less time I spend in the kitchen, the more time I am spending with my friends and family and the people that I invited over. So I'm all about those tips and tricks and hacks for getting huge flavors, beautiful presentation, and minimal effort. So welcome. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We do have a theme. Tonight it is on Wednesdays, we drink pink. And whether you're on Team Regina or Team Katie, I think we can all agree cheese and crackers for 8 people. It's never enough. We are turning the old tired wine and cheese party upside down, and we're gonna really up-level this and just take it all the way with these awesome Fresh Cravings dips and some fun, cool inspiration. So let's do it, shall we? My first appetizer that I made is with the Fresh Cravings peach mango salsa. This is phenomenal. Tons of ripe peach and mango. If you can't find this, because the peach mango is only available in certain regions, the Fresh Cravings pico de gallo salsa is amazing as well. If you've ever felt personally victimized by dull, jarred, shelf-stable salsas, the Fresh Cravings salsas, they are chef's kiss. You can find them in the produce section, always in the refrigerator aisle, and they're just fresh, fine ripened tomatoes, great zesty veggies, everything's super fresh. Check out freshcravings.com. They can tell you whether the peach mango is in your area or the pico de gallo, but either one will work awesome with this recipe. So I made, drum roll please, these beautiful polenta rounds that are topped with peach mango salsa and fresh crab. And if you've never made polenta rounds before, they are so easy, and they are definitely a secret weapon of mine, especially for my gluten-free friends. What I love to do is go into the prepared polenta area of the grocery store. They have these cute little tubes, and what you can do is cut them into thin slices, pop them on a sheet pan with some olive oil, roast them 400 degrees for 20-25 minutes. And what you come out with are these awesome little coins. They are crunchy on the outside, a little creamy on the inside, and they're such a great base for whatever you want to put on top. This is a 4-ingredient appetizer. We'd love that. I took the polenta rounds and then the peach mango salsa and some fresh lump crab. I just mixed those together, piled it on top, and then I sprinkled a little fresh mint, just chopped that and just added that little pop of color and that really fresh minty flavor. I feel like it plays really well with the salsa, a little unexpected. It feels a little fancy, but these are an awesome bite. And as for the rosé, I did a really juicy, vibrant, fruit-driven rosé. This is from Portugal. This is Mateus Rosé. It is full of just really bright, punchy, fun flavors. Brings me back to coastal Portugal whenever I sip on it. And seafood and rosé, classic pairing. Something like crab you see with rosé a lot because rosé won't overpower the crab. The crab will also complement the rosé beautifully. That's the first dip and sip pairing, and I don't know, I think we're off to a good start so far. It's definitely one of my favorite recipes of tonight. Okay, so up next, whenever I think of rosé, I often think of goat cheese, another one of those classic pairings, which inspired me to make this whipped goat cheese salsa dip. This is with the Fresh Cravings chunky salsa. It comes in mild and medium. You can choose whichever one you want. For that, I went with the mild. But what I did here is that I whipped up some goat cheese in a food processor. You can use a blender. Super important to use the logs and not the little crumbles. The logs will give you much creamier texture. So I blitzed the goat cheese with a little bit of cream, blended it, added a little bit more cream, blended again, and just went little by little until I got the perfect consistency, which for me was like buttercream icing on a cloud. Just light and creamy and so delicious. Little sea salt definitely brings out those tangy flavors of the goat cheese. Spread that on a platter, or I don't know, if you're into like the butter board trend, you could smear it right on a board. I went with a pretty glass platter for this. And then top it with the Fresh Cravings chunky salsa. And then I think the thing that takes it to the next level is that I did some toasted pine nuts and I sprinkled those on top. They give a little bit of that crunch and that like umami, little unexpected like ooh. And then some fresh parsley over the top. So good with everything. I could use this with veggies, with pretzels, with crackers, chips, pretty much like anything you want to dip in it. Really elevated, and it's literally less than 10 minutes. The thing that takes the most time is probably toasting the pine nuts. So easy. To pair with this, I did something a little bit unexpected. You guys have been asking me in my DMs about the 19 Crimes Snoop Dogg Cali Rosé, and I felt like on Wednesdays we drink pink. We're leaning into all these great pop culture moments, and who's more of a master at pop culture than Snoop Dogg? So have his rosé. I finally tried it, and honestly, I really liked it. It's a little sweet, and it has a little bit of an effervescence to it as well. I think it's really fun with this dip because you have the tangy goat cheese, the zesty salsa, that crunchy little salty umami bite from the pine nuts. The thing that's missing is a little bit of a sweet note. Unexpected pairing, but really fun. And yeah, try the Snoop Dogg Cali Rosé with the Fresh Cravings chunky salsa, whipped goat cheese salsa dip. Yum. So Fresh Cravings also makes some creamy dips, and I could not wait to try this Poblano sweet corn dip. It is made with Poblano's corn. It's a little sweet, a little zesty, super creamy, and almost like a tiny bit smoky. I decided to give the Poblano street corn dip a bit of a cozy makeover. I made cheesy Poblano corn and bacon crostinis. Come on. I took a fresh baguette and, did little slices and then toasted it up in the oven with some olive oil, like 5 to 7 minutes at 350, and you get these cute little toasts. If you want to be fancy, call them crostini. Toast, crostini. I don't know, crostini sounds like a little bit more elevated, so that's what we'll go with today. If you go to your grocery store and you get one of those big fresh baguettes, have them slice it for you. Saves so much time. I used to slice all my own crostini, and once I realized I can just have them do it and come home with these perfect little slices, game over. That's definitely my new little trick. So I toasted these up, and then what I did was I heated the Poblano street corn dip. It's just warmed it up a little bit in the microwave, and I added some crumbled bacon. You could totally use turkey bacon. You can use plant-based bacon if you want, or you can just skip it if you prefer, but I definitely think it adds something extra. And after I spread the warm bacon-infused dip on the crostinis, I topped it with some grated cheese, put it back on the sheet pan, and put it under the broiler, and just till that cheese was melted and bubbly and starting to get golden brown. No shame in buying the pre-grated bagged kind. And then just to kind of dress it up a little bit, I did some thinly sliced scallions on top, and then a couple more pieces of the crumbled bacon. I paired them with a kind of crisp, zesty, citrus-driven, very dry rosé. This is the 14 Hands Winery Rosé. They're from Washington State. And this, it leads with some cranberry and like tart red raspberry flavors, but the finish is super citrusy. It's crisp, has my mouth watering, and it finishes quite dry. And because the Poblano street corn dip is sweet and zesty and creamy, this kind of helps balance out all of that beautiful creamy richness and just keeps your mouth watering, makes you crave another bite of the crostini. And again, from girls' night to game night, these crostinis are gonna be probably my most popular seasonal appetizer that I make. They're so, so good. And finally, it is hummus o'clock. Fresh Cravings hummus is so delicious. It's specially made with Chilean olive oil, which gives it a really dreamy and creamy texture. I used the roasted garlic, and there is a lot of roasted garlic, which I love. I'm a garlic girl. I've seen you guys' TikToks. I know you are too. And I love just how much garlic flavor is packed into this. super creamy, and it's a nice savory base for my mini spiced butternut squash naan flatbreads. These are so pretty, and they're like autumn in a bite. So if you've been counting down the days, so it's time for like a light jacket, you're gonna love these. I use for these little mini naan dippers. I just think they're very elegant. You could totally use a full-size naan, make your flatbread, and then just slice it up for people, but I just think the minis feel very like wine tasting party to me. So what I did was I took the naan. You can toast them or heat them if you want, or just use them as is. It's really up to you, but I spread them with the Fresh Cravings Roasted Garlic hummus as the base. And then I took some butternut squash and I chopped it up. I added maple syrup, olive oil, cumin and chili powder, so some more autumn spices and some good maple. Roasted it in the oven till it was soft and tender. I highly recommend, I actually think I have, yes, I have a little extra. So highly recommend for this that you find the pre-peeled and seeded butternut squash at your grocery store. Like every store has it. It is so much faster than taking a whole butternut squash and breaking it down. If you do want to work with a squash from scratch, look for about a small one, like about a pound. But I love the pre-cut stuff, just so much easier, and it has just like amazing fall flavors when you roast it with maple, some spices. And so after that, I did a little sea salt and then some chopped fresh rosemary to bring in a little bit of woodsiness. These are totally vegan, which again, same thing as gluten-free. I'm not vegan, I'm not gluten-free, but a lot of my friends are. And I just feel like it's my duty as a host to make sure that everybody's comfortable and that everybody has things they can eat and enjoy and they all feel included. So this is really great as a vegan appetizer. If that's not important to you, by all means add a little grated parm or a dollop of Greek yogurt maybe. That would be really nice on these, but they're wonderful as is. And they pair with a more savory, earthy rosé to kind of pull out the earthy flavors in that roasted squash. So I chose La Vieille Ferme Rosé, yes, affectionately known as the chicken wine, but this is from the Rhone Valley in France. It's a blend of Cinsault, Grenache, and Syrah, and it definitely has some herbal tones, and it has a good amount of kind of nice, appealing earthiness. So really good pairing with the autumn in a bite, butternut squash, spiced mini naan flatbreads. They're so pretty and really yummy too. So that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, for dipping and sipping with me. I hope I gave you guys some inspiration with these fabulous dips from Fresh Cravings and some of my favorite bottles.